There's one thing I almost forgot to show, which is what happens when you go to, I believe it's the various offices, basically one of the undefined floors. Yeah. So this is for people who aren't very attentive and they didn't see the lever on the ground, near the ground, on the wall there. No one else is here. Nothing else to do here. One thing I find kind of funny is that this corrupted Elson doesn't have a sitting, like, car set. He's just standing on the chair. Basically every other Elson in the game, even if they're like unique ones that have like a hat or something, they have sitting car sets, but this one Elson does not. I don't know if it was oversight or what. Either that or it's just because, like, I think this might be the only instance of a corrupt Elson sitting in a chair. And I think, like, Dismal or BB just could not be bothered to make a car set for this one Elson. You can thank Brain Plague Rewind for this chest. Also, this area here, this used to have a clicking problem where you could literally exit off of the pedal onto this area. The same thing goes for the other, on the other side. That could also happen, and I had to place same priority invisible event blocks here, so you can't do that. This also has a bit of a layering issue, but it's so minor that I'm like, that you have to actually go out of your way you have to go out of your way to see this. And it's like 2 pixels, so I'm not going to be bothered trying to figure out how to fix that. there's one thing I have, like a minor nitpick I have about this room, it's that it's the dusks appearing in this room are done on a variable counter based on how many times you like read these specific notes and whatnot. But you can just like read the exact same note over and over and over again, which could cause them to appear. And I have seen this with someone's playthrough, where because they checked both tiles of a same bookshelf, they ended up getting the scare to trigger prematurely because both tiles read the same thing, and they both increased the counter. So they ended up like setting off the dusk scare prematurely because there's no like switches or whatnot dedicated to each bookshelf to ensure that it only happens if you read each of the 4 notes once. Probably gonna have to pause again to do that puzzle because my memory is bad. Try to see if I can do it without having to pause. What? Oh, okay. I keep thinking that I forgot for a moment that the password is upon entering. I got confused for a moment. I'm so used to playing the test build where this room doesn't even exist and I just forgot. Anyway, because most people do not see this probably because they're curious. and they just go straight to window 2. Because this is how, well, not how I figured it out, because I was curious and I just went straight to window 2. But it took me a bit to like figure out what window 2 meant, but I did figure it out and I thought that was really clever. But I want to show window 2 before I do this. Right as soon as I kill these trumpeteries. I don't know, maybe a little fun fact about myself. Trochanteri's are my favorite ghoul and off. And it makes me so sad to see what has become of them. But not like I hate their designs, but it's like the poor things got like torn apart and then sewed back together. Yeah, because on this side you could like go up here, and I had to also place invisible same priority event tiles to prevent that. Only dope fish in the entire game. I'm pretty sure that is a typo. It should not be who apostrophe s. That is a contraction of who is. That is not correct. I overlooked this. So, window 2. That switch at the end, it teleports you to an area called nothing, if I remember correctly. And the binary translates to null, if I also remember correctly. I think in Sincere Deceit, there is a developer comment that clarifies that that room is broken on purpose. Because some people probably might think like there's a way to have it not crash, but no, it's done like that on purpose. Because I believe in the test build or something, that same room does still exist, but it's connected. It's a subroom room to a different map, and yeah, no, it is still a subroom to window 2, but window 2 in the test build is different. But the comment isn't there. This is actually my first time actually hearing the cage laugh, because I'm wearing headphones and it's so quiet. I could never hear it, and I would end up like looking through RPG Maker and I would see like heart laugh or something like that, and I'm like, what laugh? I literally never hear it. I was contemplating on doing a grandless run, at least up until the red zones in layer 2, but then I decided against it because Lugosi's dialogue and the High Priest's dialogue is different depending on whether you have the grand items, whether you gave them away, and whatnot. And I fixed Lugosi's ellipses issue where they just would not appear. I think it was this area. It was either like this area here or in the red zone variant, where there was a clipping issue with Pedalo that was more egregious to me, that I had like messed with layering to get it to not look wrong. Some of these bugs are like mostly like layering issues are like super niche, that like unless you're like running up against like every wall, you're not going to see them. No, let me see the... Thank you. So when it comes to that note there, that note is like that even back in Find Me 3.2. I have a theory that it might have been referring back to the old story, because it says like 3 mighty guardians, and then bring 3 places together. And you might think, well, it can't be the case because of the prison. So it can't be that this applies to the district guardians. But back then, Adam was not considered one of Abram's friends. He was just like there, but not one of his friends. He was an outcast, like completely back then. So when it says like bring 3 places together, it's excluding the prison. And in that case, it seems to like fit. And when it comes to having the tower rise and whatnot and defeat who we all fear most. Oh. Hold on. Also, the only reason why I'm fighting like every single enemy I come across is that Deceit has balancing that is exceptionally good for an offhand game. It is one of the best balanced games I have ever played, where if you just fight every enemy you come across, don't run, then you will be perfectly leveled whenever you get to like each new zone, new area, whatnot. You're not going to be under leveled. And that's one thing that fan games, especially like really long ones, sometimes might have an issue with, where you might be a little underleveled, maybe too overleveled, because combat balancing is a pain. Believe me, I know, because, well, I know because I did try to figure out how to like change the district guardians to actually be their corresponding elements, and I gave up pretty quickly because I was like, oh no, I don't know how to do this. Because it would make so much sense if they had the actual corresponding colored element, but they don't. And I saw Dismal like, why didn't I think of that? And I'm like, well, maybe I could fix it. Maybe I could change that. And it turns out no I cannot, because I have no idea how to do that. And I did not want to end up breaking anything. One thing before continuing is that I did forget to mention like why I only used the batter to attack the cage. The reason for that is that the battle aborting at the end is determined by the number of turns, the number of the batter's turns that pass. After 5 turns, the battle will end. So it's pointless to attack with the add-ons or whatnot because like they don't contribute to the battle ending.